podcast that you know, Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings. Big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the par, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the thing. So
We are live!
Deuce and Mo.
Happy Wednesday, Juice Mason, Morgan Reagan. And what a day it is on a Wednesday.
What a day.
I don't think I've been excited for a day in a long time.
Why?
Do you understand that tonight? And I understand some of you are like, oh, what do you mean, Juice? Tonight it is going down. How are we doing out there? I missed the...
Hey, Morgan.
There you go.
I'm rooting for y'all.
Thank you.
Who's your favorite team of all time, though? Seriously, honestly.
Let's go, Kane.
We are live. Thanks so much for hanging out. It's a big night because tonight, Morgan, wrestling nerds from all over the world will have their eyes glued to TBS AEW Dynamite. It's CM Punk. It's Jon Moxley for the AEW unification bout for the AEW championship.
What does that? Any of that even mean?
You got the interim, Jon Moxley. You got the champion, CM Punk, because CM Punk got injured. And now those two go head to head to decide who's the real AEW champion. Could you have MJF return?
I am like kind of shocked about your excitement lately for this. Literally, Deuce said we can't do a podcast tonight and that we had to do it in the morning because he didn't want to miss this show.
Yeah. I need you, by the way, to be... You realize we are going to see AEW live in person in New York. I need you to be a little more fired up about, like, you know, the lead up to that big event.
But I'm fired up for the live show. You know, like
Okay.
It's like a live performance.
No, you're a casual. I get it.
I'm not denying I'm a casual.
You're a cash. Okay.
That does not bother me.
So just understand the mood you're in is I'm saying I'm so excited for this.
And
like
I
it's
love
really
that.
and you're like, I don't get why you're so excited.
No.
Okay, let's bring me
Can I
down
be
for being
honest?
excited.
I've seen you super excited at times, and then I've seen it like come back down, and then I've seen it down for a while, and now I'm seeing it build back up, and I'm just asking why.
It's a pretty
Storylines
big
or-
Did you see the CM Punk Jon Moxley promo last week when
Yes,
they went
I
back
saw
and
it.
forth?
Yes.
Did you feel the animosity and all the rumors going around about CM Punk and Hangman Adam Page?
Sure.
A little real life feud going on.
Yeah.
And then everyone assumed that this match that we're going to see tonight was going to be on All Out, a premium live event. But no, it's happening live on national television tonight. It doesn't get any bigger or better than that. Let's go.
When would have All Out been?
A couple weeks. September 4th.
Okay. Oh, so Labor Day weekend, they're probably like,
No, it's just going to be bigger because I think we're going to get the return of
when?
MJF.
Tonight?
I think it's happening
I
tonight.
thought that was supposed
I
to
think
be
it's-
for the Grand Slam when
No.
we go.
No, he could be there.
What the hell?
All right. Ron says this sounds like a foreign language. It is. I understand that. All right. Let's not waste any more time. Let's talk. Deuce and Mo coming down. 3, 2, 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Hey, welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast. Recording this on a Wednesday morning around 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'm Juice Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. How you doing, Mo?
Fantastic on this Wednesday.
Oh, God. You disgust me sometimes with that. fine. Okay, you've got some stuff that you're irritated with, and that's fine. But to fantastic on this Wednesday. Has anyone in the world ever said that to someone in person? If someone says, "Hey, how you doing?" Would you go
say
fantastic on this Wednesday? It's just a little
That's
like it's
literally
so phony.
how
You're
I
phony.
talk to humans.
You're phony.
That's not phony. That's literally how I speak to other humans. And do you want to call it like socially awkward? I don't know.
Yes, I do.
Well, that's fine.
You're very
Then
weird.
make fun of me for being an anxious human
Just say,
and
"Hey,
being socially awkward.
How you doing, Mo? I'm good, Deuce. Thanks for asking.
What? Why do people have to say I'm good like you would say I'm good? And honestly, I don't think you get excited enough about your life and your day. Like, you're good. Why aren't you fantastic? Today's a fantastic day.
Yeah, I just said in our pre-show how excited I am today about something that's happening tonight in something I like in AEW.
But
and
you're
you
just
went,
good.
Why?
Whatever.
Well, I didn't know. I guess good is bad. Is good bad?
No, but good's not great.
You make me sick. Gus Bus calls you a phony in the live chat. Stephen Brown
Thanks,
says
Gus.
Mo's greeting is better than Deuce.
Thanks, Steven. Thank you, everyone.
Well, we appreciate everyone hanging out with us on a Wednesday morning. We have news that came out yesterday from the last time we did a podcast. Shams put out the big story of all these potential trades that were talked about between the Nets and other teams. And then could the Grizzlies be in the mix? All this stuff. And then the next day we find out, hey, Kevin Durant is not going anywhere. He is staying put in Brooklyn. And the Nets even put out a statement about it, which is hilarious for many reasons. Because it has the Nets logo. It also has Kevin Durant's The Boardroom logo on it.
Why?
Totally necessary. The statement reads like this. Steve Nash and I, together with Joe Tsai, Claire Wu Tsai, met with Kevin Durant and Rich Kleiman in LA yesterday. We have agreed to move forward with our partnership. We are focusing on basketball with one collective goal in mind, build a lasting franchise to bring a championship to Brooklyn. So all the drama, Durant wants out. He'll stay, but you got to fire Nash and Marks. Well, guess what? Everything's staying put.
and he's
Kevin
not
Durant.
retiring either.
He's not retiring. He's going to show up to camp. What a bizarre offseason for the Brooklyn Nets. And we could talk all day about their talent and Durant and Simmons and Kyrie. There's no one out there who should just be like, yeah, I think this team can win a championship next year. Because to me, there's too much weirdness. The fact that Kyrie wanted to get out, then he realized, oh, crap, no teams really want to trade for me at this point. The Nets aren't going to get an offer they like because I'm unpredictable. And then, Kevin Durant, teams aren't going to offer. They're not willing to give up a Desmond Bane or a Jaren Jackson. Oh, we're kind of stuck here. And now they all have to come back when there's been the story about KD dropping the ultimatum, and they're all supposed to be like, oh, we're good now. We talked it all out. Everything's good. It just seems bizarre to me.
Bizarre is you can absolutely describe it as bizarre. I think too, there's people that get mad because they were so invested in Kevin Durant in a New Jersey because it's exciting, right? It's fun to talk about. It's fun to picture and vision. And it's like we put so much of our energy into this. It's like, ooh, what's going to be that change? It's got to be a change. We've heard from all these reports and inside the, organization and everything. And the change is not coming. But what I like about this, because although we're not on the other side of things, what we're seeing from the outside are that two sides are actually coming together to make it work. How all the other things, all the cute little drama things that we're going to touch on and get into in a little bit are going to affect all that. That's going to be the fun stuff for all the NBA people that enjoy all the reality TV like drama when it comes to these players. But ultimately, Deuce, this is what we wanted to see as, I guess, NBA fans. You don't want to see a guy just push his way out because he's a superstar and can get out of any organization, right? So this is ultimately how you wanted it to go, but it's not that sexy.
I agree with what Stephen A. Smith said yesterday. He said this is a good day for the NBA.
Fair. I like
And
that.
I think it is true because you're right. Durant signs at 4-year contract extension last year that would kick in this year, and then he's demanding a trade. I understand. It's like, no, this is good because they talked it out and they worked it out. But yeah, after he took a blowtorch and had a public trade demand, gives an ultimatum. I've always liked Kevin Durant's game. I think he gets a lot of shit overall from leaving OKC, how the Golden State thing went, winning a championship with the Warriors. But this, to me, does not reflect great on him. I just don't like how he went about it. And the ultimatum thing definitely rubbed me the wrong way, that you would drop that ultimatum, in early August when the season starts in October. And that's where I give a credit to, like, Sean Marks, the GM, Joe Tsai, the owner. It was just like, no, we're going to figure this out. Like, you're not going to do this. You're not going to hold us hostage. If we can find a great deal, we'll do it, but we're not going to just trade you. And what are you going to do? Go retire then. Give up. You're going to stop playing in the NBA at 34 years old with 4 years left on your deal?
Right.
Okay. And it's good that he's back for the league, but it's also creates this really weird dynamic. And I think there are ramifications to this not happening with other teams too, which makes it pretty compelling around the league. We're talking about all the teams and all of the names that were mentioned in trade talks very publicly. We're talking about the Celtics and Nets with Jaylen Brown and all that stuff. There's a lot of weirdness here. So, I don't know. Do you feel differently about Durant after this whole saga?
I don't know what it is. I find myself defending Kevin Durant a lot. And I defend him because I think sometimes our society wants everyone to just go with the flow and do what you're told and do as like be a certain personality and don't fight back. And I think Kevin Durant, I don't think he's a bad guy at all. And I think that's what people sometimes identify him as. Like, he's a bad guy because of all this. And it's like, I just think he's a different kind of personality. I don't even know if I would be friends with Kevin Durant, not because I morals and values, but more so because of our personalities not colliding, right? Or just like his dryness that I'm like this outgoing, annoying person, So I just feel like people don't understand his personality enough. And it doesn't mean just because his personality is different that he can't make mistakes, because I believe within this whole thing, there were mistakes being made, but I'm not going to hold it against him. It's technically getting fixed. It's going in the right direction.
I mean, but here's the thing. Is it?
I mean, we think as of right now, the optics are showing,
cool.
Yeah.
They put out a statement, but again, the Steve Nash Durant dynamic, people are going to be watching that. Like, that's going to, unfortunately, because of how this played out and all the stuff that was leaked out to the media, like anytime Nash and Durant interact, or, Nash and Kyrie interact, all eyeballs are going to be on that. Like, what's the vibe? It's like, is Nash like all of a sudden on the hot seat now? Like, there's so many questions, and then it's just making it all work. I mean, I think on one hand, you go, man, a team, if you would have said 2 years ago, let's just say 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, hey, the Nets are going to have Durant, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons, most people would be like, holy shit. But I think there are so many questions regarding this just because we haven't seen Ben Simmons play. He had the back procedure. Like, we still haven't seen him play in a long time. Now the dynamic with Durant and the organization, Kyrie and the organization, it just doesn't feel like this can be a team that rallies together and all of a sudden, we're talking about the Nets winning a championship in June. Doesn't mean they're not going to win games. Doesn't mean they're not going to be good. I just think even though they put out a statement that acts like, hey, we talked it out, everything's good, I just don't think it's that easy. I think there is definitely things that will be held on to for a long time because of this.
Yeah, and that's fine too, because you can tell people that you're over shit and you can say whatever you need to say, but actions are going to speak louder than words. So what actions are going to be, taken when you're seeing Kevin Durant and Steve Nash interact, whether it's practice film or whether it's on the floor during the season and they're frustrated with each other or he's subbing them out? What is that dynamic going to be like? Well, what history would tell us that it's not going to be very good.
Right.
But, and I am a track record person, but this has been such a unique, bizarre situation that there's something about it that I have just a little bit of faith in. But then here's my other thing. When adversity hits for the Nets, and it will hit, that is when I think the true test will show like what they are and what they are on the inside and out, and they won't be able to hide it.
I bet the league's a little pissed off about this now too.
Why?
Because they made the schedule and they're going, okay, figure it out before we do the schedule. And they gave the Nets 13 nationally televised games.
Yeah.
Thinking, okay, Kyrie's maybe going to LA, Durant's out. We're not going to put Ben Simmons and the Nets on a whole bunch. Well,
Ben Simmons and the Nets.
Now, like, this team has to be on national TV more. I mean, you look at their opening night game, Pelicans, Nets. That might be like, that's the game, right? Like,
it's a good one.
Zion's return.
Yeah.
There was trade discussions between the Pelicans and Nets, Ingram, KD stuff, right? Then the whole Nets dynamic.
We're going to have those storylines with any team that the Nets play. You're going to be like, oh, well, in the offseason, so-and-so was in talks of doing this and that and being traded for Kevin Durant. It's going to happen all season long. It's going to be an angle. It's going to factor in. And there's going to be times where it gets old. But in the beginning of the season, that's where it's going to be fun.
Also, Patrick Beverly weighed in on Twitter. He said, y'all can sit and don't say nothing, but that ain't cool. It's dudes with families out here who haven't got a job because of this KD shit. And to be on and off ain't cool. Blessing, gang. Durant's response was, #blame KD. So, I mean, is Beverly trying to go with a babyface turn here? Durant's really leaning into the heel angle. Also, Kevin Durant, you can't say anything about him without him like clapping back. But what I don't understand about Durant is, and not just Durant, but other athletes on social media.
What?
Do you understand? If you looked at their mentions, they get a lot of hate.
Okay.
Not denying that.
Yeah.
But they also get like, little kids from all over the world. Like, hey, Katie.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you so much.
I like your jumper. Can you just...
I want to be like you when I grow up.
No response. But
I
if we hit KD right now and be like, yo, your podcast sucks. Quote, tweet, clap back.
This has always been something that has bothered you with many people, though.
Yeah, no, because you shouldn't just respond to the negative. And that's, I think, kind of an insight into how he views things sometimes. It's like, and I know it's not that serious, it's Twitter, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I know, but like you responding to every little negative thing and not really responding to anything positive from fans, like you hitting a like on like someone's nice tweet or responding it changes someone's like life.
Yeah.
Where you becoming the clapback guy, cool. So you clap back at Beverly and say #blame KD. Cool.
Well,
man.
I do appreciate that response. One, but two, Deuce. What I love, I always try to be. I try. It doesn't mean I succeed at this all the time, but I try to be that person that's like, hey, be kind. But if someone F's with you, you F with them even harder, right? Like
Maria has a shirt that says "Be kind," but she does need the disclaimer underneath.
Like, oh, but that's not even a disclaimer. That's just like self-respect. That is just letting people know that a line has been crossed and you're not being kind anymore. So now you are going to verbally die. And I think with Kevin Durant, that is his thing in a lot of ways where all he's trying to do is stick up for himself. I don't agree with the tactic. I don't agree with it. I agree more with what you're saying, Deuce. It's like spend that energy into this, but people cross lines and he wants to have a say in that line being crossed, even if it's a #blame KD. Like, whatever.
Beverly's right in this instance. It does, trade talks just when they become so public, names are out there. The fact that we know, like, hey, Jaylen Brown was named in this, like that, it was like,
let's talk about it.
I don't know. I mean, maybe Jaylen's like, I don't know how I don't know
Oh,
Jaylen
come
Brown,
on.
but like, is it fuel for? Does it motivate him more? Is he upset? Is he looking at the Celtics like, what the hell? We just made it to a championship.
He
and
tweeted something out right when it was first coming out, Deuce. It was like shaking my head or something. I forget what
Yeah,
Jaylen
but
Brown. No,
is
no.
it the rumors? Or I mean, we don't know what he's shaking his head to. Does that mean he's mad at the Celtics? Is that you don't know exactly what he's responding to? Could have just been like, these rumors, you know.
Can we? I think you're right. I shouldn't just speculate, but I feel like
You're guessing, and that's fine. You can
no. But
guess.
don't you think you're being naive a little
No.
bit? Really?
No, you don't know what he's saying. People like try to interpret tweets sometimes. I'm like, you don't know what he's saying either. What's the context? Because he shakes his head. He could be shaking his head that he's involved in a trade talk. He could be shaking his head that the Celtics are even considering trading him. He could be shaking his head that, wow, NBA Twitter, shake my head. You don't know how he tweeted it. You don't know.
Okay. Well, what I'm gonna go off of is when you see your name being put into something like a team, and we know this from other players talking about being traded before and people not wanting them and organizations not wanting them. That's what I feel like he was probably feeling some of in that moment after having this championship run.
Sure.
I just think that's ridiculous to not, if I put that out there, I don't think I'm being like, I'm putting out a narrative that's false. I think I'm putting something out there that like makes sense for this NBA
That's
world.
fine. That's fine. Now we're trying to like look at Jalen's tweets and figure out.
But-
I mean, I don't know. You could be right. I
So
could
my
be
whole
right. I don't
point,
know.
my
But
whole
what-
point to this though is with Jaylen Brown. And with Jaylen Brown, you do have to ask the question, what's his relationship like with the Celtics after that? Or it could be perfectly fine. But we're asking the questions because we saw this all happen and this was huge for the entire NBA.
I would say this too, like that's where Brad Stevens earns his money, right? Like you've coached this guy, you're now in charge of basketball operations with the Celtics. You got to be upfront with the guy. Like, yeah, we called in about Durant. They wanted you. We didn't make the trade. You know, or maybe it's like, yeah, we did have discussions, but we believe in you. Like, it's tough, but there has to be communication. You can't just like brush it aside and be like, what do you mean? We didn't trade you. You can't play dumb to it either. There just has to be proper communication. And maybe with that, they can respect it because really, again, we talked about this with Halliburton the other day. It is a business.
It is a business.
And those guys are doing their jobs.
Sidebar, same thing whenever we talk about the Suns, though. We are like, man, the Suns are a mess with this, and this. And obviously DeAndre Ayton and almost being traded, or, you know, the sign and trade with the Indiana Pacers. But now what is Monty Williams going to do? It's the same thing that we're talking about where there might be that sprinkled in little bit of drama, but it already could have a Band-Aid on it. It could already be good between them and the team, too. And it could already be good between Jaylen Brown and the Celtics, but it could also be lingering as well. Like, that's what we are speculating from a tweet, from a name being in a rumored trade. And I think that's completely fair because these are humans we are talking about that feel things when their names are being put into these rumors.
And I think there's some GMs, in my opinion, that don't do a great job. It is so transactional when they talk about making moves. And, you know, there are emotions behind all of these. There's emotions with rumors and talks and trades, just like we were talking about with Halliburton the other day. Like when he's asked about it, he's expressing how he felt about it. And like Jaylen could be like super irritated about it, but you just don't. How does he internalize it? You know, you could turn it into a good thing too. He could be like, you know what? Screw you. Hey, here, Brad Stevens, I'm going to dominate this year.
Yeah.
And screw, you're going to pay me a lot of money, or guess what? I'm dipping in a couple of years. So, and he's not the only name, you know. And I felt like the league was kind of held up, right? Because there's so many teams who were trying to like, all right, like Durant's available.
Donovan Mitchell.
Are we? What are we waiting on here? Like, you know. Can the Suns get involved? The Grizzlies, the Sixers, the Raptors, the Heat, blah, blah, blah.
Everyone was calling.
I also wonder, like, how Durant feels about the situation, considering, like, the Raptors weren't willing to give up Scotty Barnes. It didn't sound like Miami wanted to give up Bam Adebayo. It didn't sound like some of the Grizzlies wanted to give up Bane or Jaren Jackson. Like, I think at some point he's probably going, well, I don't really have much of a choice. Like, these teams aren't willing to play ball here with the Nets. They're not going to give up like what Minnesota gave up in the Gobert deal. I'm almost better off just staying here.
Yeah, and that could be a part of it as well, but it also could have been a part of the Nets being like, none of this is good enough for Kevin Durant. You know, it's Kevin Durant. Whether it was playing hardball and trying to keep him there, and or just trying to prove to Kevin Durant, like, these aren't even good enough for you, so we're not going to, you know, bow down to these teams and just take whatever. But also, I think Kevin Durant's a smart enough basketball player to understand too that these teams didn't want to give up their entire team just to add Kevin Durant. You know, that was the other thing that was going to happen out of this. And I think what Kevin Durant did get to see, even if other teams weren't willing to give up certain pieces for him, he got to see that every team around the league was interested, you know, and I don't think he doubted that for a second.
Let's get to some comments from the chat, including Davey, who says Jaylen Brown understands his business so well. He is the NBA PA vice president. Yeah, I mean, I think it's what I said the other day, too. Like, I think most players, oh, no, it's a business. And then something happens to them, and they're like,
yeah,
that hurts, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
it's, you guys, there's emotions involved, no matter what. You know,
Adrian says the Nets could not receive Bam because of Ben. Yeah, I mean, they sure, but they could have made other moves. They could have moved Simmons. It could have been a very large trade. But the reality was, it sounded like even in those talks, like Bam, they didn't want to give up Bam in the deal. Benjamin says that Gobert trade ruined the landscape of reasonable trades. Yeah, and now you're playing the waiting game with like Donovan Mitchell and the Knicks. Like, are they going to be able to get a deal done, or is Ainge going to just hold out?
Dude,
I don't know. It's interesting. I just think the Durant stuff.
What?
It ultimately, is it good that he stayed in Brooklyn for the league in terms of a superstar wasn't able to just throw a fit and get exactly what he wants? Sure. But it doesn't mean everything's rosy. And I think it's going to be really complicated this year. I could be dead wrong on it. I don't really care. I just think there's just too much that has taken place for it to work. Like, I don't think you're going to get to June and see Steve Nash and Durant holding up the trophy together. It's just not happening.
No. Well, that's the next part of all this, right? Is the logistics on the court and what this Nets team actually looks like in the Eastern Conference, one, but two, how they work together. And like I already said earlier, when that adversity hits, who's their leader? Like, KD spent all summer long ready to be, you know, just dip out. Kyrie had his drama going on there. Ben Simmons, I doubt he's going to be your vocal leader when he hasn't played basketball in so damn long. What are you going to do? Depend on Patty Mills? I mean, again, I love Patty Mills,
right,
but that's just it's not enough to make everything solid on the floor. And Joe Harris, I should also give credit to as well.
We should mention that today's podcast presented by our friends over at East Sac Fitness. Oh my God.
What?
By the way, this shirt is a 2X. You guys are... This is a 2X. You're like, oh my God, dude. It's like, what is going on here? ESAC Fitness is a great place. Hey, I'm back. I'm officially... Lock it in right now.
Lock it in.
6 straight weeks of going at least 4 days a week of clanging and banging, doing functional
job.
fitness. But ESAC Fitness has almost anything you could possibly want. Of course, all the elite cardio equipment. They've got spin classes, functional fitness classes. So if you're not familiar with how to actually lift weights, they have a coach that can guide you through that. Group classes, that's super cool. They've got yoga. They've got a recovery room that has a cold plunge, a sauna. Morgan spends time in the sauna, I think.
Yeah, I do. And sometimes it's like more of an excuse to not work out when my body feels super heavy. But at least I'm still doing something good for my body. And that's what I love about this place, because it motivates you to continue to do something good for your body.
So if you're looking for a gym and you don't want to go to the big box place, go to a community place. It's East Sac Fitness. Check out their website, eastsacfitness.com. Also, Deuce and Mo merch.
Mm-hmm.
We got some new stuff coming soon.
We do. I talked to somebody with Special Olympics. Nick Bryant, obviously one of our favorite listeners.
Why
Coach
not?
Nick.
Why not?
Why not? So I talked to them a little bit about these T-shirts that we want to make, where we want to make all the money that we raise with the T-shirts to go towards Special Olympics. I asked them, what does that money do with the Special Olympics athletes? And she said that basically it helps fund all of their trips, their stays, their travel, their jerseys, all those things that they need. So basketball season, Special Olympics starts in January, and we might be able to go volunteer too.
Super cool that you laid all of that out when we don't have the shirt available yet. So yes, we will have a Why Not edition Deuce and Mo shirt with proceeds going to the Special Olympics before the season starts. In the meantime, we do have Deuce and Mo NWO style hoodies and crew necks, and we also have T-shirts, mugs, coffee glass. We got the OG logo as well.
Let's
Disciple
go.
shirts and the popular Fox and Ox.
Yeah.
Why isn't De'Aaron wearing that in Italy when he's working out?
I don't know.
Just go to
That's a great
deuceandmo.com.
question.
Click on merch. You can get your Deuce and Mo merch today.
Premium tees too. It's not like I do the cheap crap, you know?
How about De'Aaron Fox being in Italy, working out on his honeymoon?
Dope.
Luke Laux, new Kings assistant coach, flew out to Italy,
Yeah.
and they were working out.
I loved it. I love seeing it.
There is zero chance. I feel like anytime I go on a vacation,
Yeah.
anytime you go on a vacation, you like tell yourself you're going to work out every day. You bring out, hey, I'm going to bring workout gear. I'm going to bring workout shoes. No one works out on vacation, really.
When you're in the NBA and you have a different timeline of what you are expected to do, what you want of yourself, it's got to be different. And that's why
If you're in Italy, you working out?
if I'm in the
Italy-
WNBA, yes, 100%.
Well, I'm just talking about in life, okay? Even if you're
Oh.
like in a good routine. If I'm in Italy, I'm eating pasta. That's
Well-
all I'm eating. I'm waking up and
I'm not working out, but I'm stretching and walking everywhere. You know, I'm not taking cars and boats and stuff, I guess, unless I had to take a boat. But I'm walking so much where at least I'm getting physical activity in that sense.
Did you get more excited for the season when you saw De'Aaron out there working out in Italy on his honeymoon?
No, I didn't. When I first heard it, I was like, great, I love it. And then when I saw it, I was like, good, that's what it should be. We're just getting so close to the season. There's no days to lose. Like, even for us, that's how I look at it when with the season around the corner. You know me, you've heard me. Like, I'm anxious at times because I'm like, Deuce, in only 29 days, we're literally not going to be able to do this. I can't work on this. I can't even do this. And every life just changes when the season starts for us as just broadcasters. So I can't imagine what it is for an actual NBA player.
What's the best Italian food in Sacramento? I need to know. Sometimes you just need some Italian food. And do not, if the chat pops in with, look, Deuce, Olive Garden, unlimited breadsticks, that does not count. Although back in the day, I definitely enjoyed some OG.
I don't think I've had like, I don't go out for Italian food. I feel like if anything, it was always sushi that I would go out for. Yeah. So I don't want to, I remember that being a good Italian place. No.
Pasquale's and Carmichael, Little Caesar. Stop it, Joe. If you're in the chat, by the way, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. It helps our channel grow big time,
Old
please.
Spaghetti Factory.
You know what's so funny? I don't know their reputation. Like,
I don't
when
either.
People are like,
I'm
that's great. I don't know. I
haven't
see it
been
all
there.
the time, but
Yeah. Someone else said that. Yes.
yeah, Mark said it. Okay.
Yeah. I don't.
Go sit in the caboose.
I would like some bomb Allura. That's Italian.
Okay.
That place looks expensive.
All right. I do want to get to the poll question in chat. I'm going to remind you guys, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. It just helps our channel grow. The poll question is this. KD is back with the Nets. Do you consider them contenders? How about this? 52% of people say yes. Make that 53% say yes. 47% say nope. Too much drama.
It's just too hard for me to count them out completely with the Kevin Durant angle. And am I being too optimistic with his game and what he can accomplish? Maybe, but we saw the way that he's come back from the injury, and I know it hasn't been full time on the floor, are we going to see a different KD? Again, this is also a team sport, so there's other players on this team that need to make things good as well. Kyrie can't have a season where he's also, part-time and having other things happen off the floor.
Yeah.
But it's most likely going to happen.
Like, I keep trying to justify. I'm like, yeah, you mentioned Durant, Kyrie, and Simmons. I'm like, yeah, they're going to be fun. They're going to be good.
I can't even break down.
And then you immediately start thinking about how's the interaction between he and Nash. The guy was like, I will stay, but fire the GM and head coach. That's insane.
Steve Nash.
You got to go back and play.
Steve Nash being a former player and then also coming back into the league with the Warriors and everything and just being under a good organization and being the leader that he has been throughout his life. I just feel like he's the type of guy, if any coach is going to be out there, that's the coach you could do this to and find a way back out of it.
I mean, I think the other reality is this, like some people can put things to bed. Like Phil and Kobe had massive issues back in the day. I remember when Phil left the Lakers the first time, he wrote a book and slammed Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally a best-selling book. And then he came back and they won championships.
Yeah.
They won 2 championships after that. So, I mean, I guess you can put things aside and
You can, but it is going to be fun for anyone that is into reality television, which all of you are, don't lie. That is what we love when the NBA has its drama, because those little angles, those little storylines going into every single game, it's just something extra for you to look out at,
What's more compelling going into the NBA season, the Nets situation or the Lakers? Lakers trying to get back. You still have the Westbrook. Westbrook's still there. It sounds like, by the way, Shams was on with Pat McAfee.
Of course.
And he was telling them yesterday that the Lakers could be looking to try to maybe trade for Beverly or Bojan Bogdanovic. Could they possibly be in the mix to return or reunite with Dennis Schroeder too? That's another option.
Get Bojan. Add that shooting. Get him. You need it. And I think when you look at someone like Pat Beverly, right now, you do need a little bit of everything if you're the Lakers. You need that scrappy guy. You need that dog. You need that shooter to space out the floor. But you're also going to need, like I've already mentioned 3 times in the last week, LeBron to up his game with just the way he's looking for his outside shot. And I think his playmaking skills, like he's an elite playmaker, but he's going to have to look out to do that a lot more this season, I feel like. So who's going to make that play, though? Who's going to be that cutter? It was Alex Caruso a couple years ago, right? It's who else is going to step up and do that?
Yeah.
What's his name? That other, why can't I think of his name on their team? I was going to bother.
I have no idea what you're talking
It's
about.
the, oh my God, I'm so sorry, dude.
It's the what?
That one young dude that's like everyone got all excited about
Austin Reeves?
Thank you. Why? Could not think of his name. Yeah. Austin Reeves. Like that's that hustler guy that gives me a little bit of the Caruso vibes. Obviously not the same player, but is he going to be something different for them this season as well? They need it. They need it all.
If Darvin Ham can have an impact, I like Darvin Ham a lot, man. I think he can have a big impact on the Lakers, but you gotta have the buy-in, and just the Russ dynamic's still weird. And who knows? Like maybe they end up getting Kyrie like at the trade deadline or something. But I don't think that stuff's happening before the season.
So then, who do you have more faith in going into this season? The Nets, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
Really?
I mean, look, everything when you talk about the Nets and the Lakers, to me, it's if. Mm-hmm. We also can't ignore the fact that the last time we saw Kevin Durant, the Celtics shut his ass down.
They did. That was bad.
The Celtics took care of business in the first round of the playoffs. You can't ignore that. And the Lakers, it's all, well, if AD can stay healthy, if Westbrook buys in, if Ben Simmons could play, if Kyrie is engaged, if there's a lot of ifs with those teams. Like, I am not trusting it. You can go ahead and tell me, well, talent means everything.
Right.
I'm not about part-time talent. Mm-hmm. You can tell me all day about, man, but if Anthony Davis is this, I have to see it.
Yep.
You know, Morgan always talks about track record with guys. That's his track record right now. There's certain track records that I can't ignore. LeBron is obviously fantastic, but LeBron was great last year. And what did that lead to for the Lakers?
Exactly.
Nothing
No,
good.
you're right. And because whenever I say things like, I can't count out KD, I can't count out LeBron, but you have to remember this sport is truly a team sport. And to get out of a conference, it's not about one guy. It truly is about what the team can accomplish together.
Steven says the Lakers should trade Russ for a bag of Funyuns and a 40 ounce.
That's not.
What kind of
why would you
Funyuns?
read that? That's not funny.
Well, it just
He's better than Funyuns and a 40 ounce. He's like at least Cool Ranch Doritos. Ew. Kidding. I'm kidding. That was mean too. That was not funny. Not funny.
Oh, here's a random off-season question. How many people in the chat have seen the Manti Te'o documentary on Netflix?
I have.
I mean, I remember the story, obviously, but I think what's wild about it is just the lengths of the catfish was that was probably the best catfishing of all time. And it was a perfect storm. Early days of like social, like Facebook and stuff, where you could kind of get away with that stuff. Like people had FaceTime, but people weren't like, not everyone was using FaceTime back then.
And let's be real, not everyone knew the ultimate personality and the person that Manti Te'o was, and that was this young Mormon sheltered dude from an island that had who he thought was a hot chick talking to him online for 3 years.
But also, like, the media, what an awful job they did.
Awful.
Like, after, and I understand you got to be sensitive, but aren't you, like, if you're in the media going, hey, can we get some pictures of you two together?
Yeah.
Nobody
asked.
Asking, like, do
Nobody
you guys
asked.
have some pictures that we got to run some pictures of you two together? Can you, oh, I only have these from Facebook. Oh, do you guys have any pictures together? Like, wouldn't that come up early? Like, oh, we've actually never met.
What was your favorite thing to do together? Like these questions not being asked by so many different news outlets is just incredible to me. It's like you didn't really care about them. You just cared about the angle, the story of just this football player that everyone loved in college having this traumatic thing happen in his life. That's all they cared about.
Also,
they didn't care about him.
Anytime they tried to FaceTime,
you guys,
it wouldn't work. But the craziest part was when, like, okay, she died, and then it was like, no, she's not dead, and they somehow got the woman that he was pretending to be to hold a sign that, like,
they didn't explain that enough.
Well,
And
they convinced her. They didn't know each other well, but convinced her that it was like for some cause, it was like a message for a family member, and she did it. Yeah, sure. I don't really know you. I'll do it.
Dude.
There's no chance if someone hits me up and goes, "Hey, can you write this on a piece of paper and hold this?" I know I don't know you well, but just do this.
No,
zero chance I'm doing it.
Don't do that. And for all of you out there, don't do it for anyone. It was. I think the craziest thing about this story was, to me, how with athletes, we do speculate so much. Everyone was speculating about his sexuality. Is he gay? They were asking, like why he would make this story up and all this attention. And you do have to understand there are two sides or sometimes even three sides to a story. And with this, especially getting him being interviewed, it gives me chills because what a good freaking dude. Just a good Manti Te'o, just a good dude that truly was young, dumb, and got screwed over. And his parents got screwed over. His family got screwed over. This person duped an entire family. And Manti Te'o, a good human, just was believing the good in people and was just trusting the situation.
But they did paint him like, look, he was just so obsessed with football. He was so focused on football that he couldn't, like, it wasn't even on his mind that he hasn't really seen her or, like, that they have never met.
That's stupid.
That's what I'm saying.
I think.
Like, they did try to make Manti like, oh, no, I mean.
You know what they should have really brought up was the religion more, because I'm like, look, if within their religion, they don't even, do certain things before marriage or anything. It's like, that's why it wasn't a big, I had a lot of Mormon friends growing up. And I remember how strict certain things were with even the way that they would dress and have to have their shoulders covered and everything. So that's why with this story, it wasn't surprising to me that he wasn't going out of his way to meet her in person. It's like they weren't going to do anything anyway.
Yeah, but you could still hang out with someone. You don't.
At that age.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
At that age.
What are you talking about? And also the other thing I didn't like about the doc was that, suggesting that catfishing wasn't really a thing. And I'm sitting there going, oh my God. It just brings me back to a story I told in Night Chat maybe a couple months ago where I was like 13 years old. Me and my friend, 12, 13 years old, we'd pop in like AOL Instant Messenger chat rooms.
Yeah.
And hey, age, sex, location. And you like start talking to these people. You don't know who's on the other end. And me and my friend convinced some woman that I was Gerald Wallace from the Kings. Because my whole thing was, hey, let's play around. Like, I'm Gerald Wallace. And like, you don't say you're Chris Webber because that's too obvious.
Obviously.
You say Gerald Wallace. I play in the Kings. And we kept it for a couple of weeks. We were just like, oh yeah, just got done in Memphis. I didn't play. just like stuff like that because he wasn't in the rotation sometimes. Oh,
Did she ever ask to
send a picture
FaceTime?
and I'd send like a picture I'd Google and stuff. Dude.
Oh my. Yeah. Damn, Deuce.
We need to have Gerald Wallace on the podcast just so I could tell him that I catfished someone with it. And I shouldn't even say catfish because it's not like I tried. It was like a 2-week prank thing.
You were young.
Yeah, I was young.
And like pranking some. I saw someone else talking about going on AOL and talking to so many random girls. Like I remember it's so creepy thinking about for anyone that's a parent out there and your kids and the access to the internet. Even if you try to keep things away from them, you're not going to. Sorry. It's like they got to learn from experiences themselves. But I'll just tell you this. That experience that Manti Te'o had, in his, teen life, hopefully it just never gets that far.
Joe says identity theft is not a joke, Deuce. I didn't steal anyone's identity, okay? He was
flirting with a chick as Gerald Wallace for 3 weeks.
It was a 12, 13-year-old dude doing that's a good bit. That's a great bit.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure I've been catfished before with my friends. I remember like talking to this hot guy that was, my friend was talking to him, but we would like both chat with him, and he like was like in a waterfall in Hawaii and stuff.
I mean, why you type like that with your hands like a cat?
You're so cute.
Yeah.
I was like, what, 13?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how it ended with the person we were pretending to be Gerald Wallace with. I don't remember. I just remember finding random ass Gerald Wallace pictures and like sending them over. Like I swear it's me, Gerald Wallace. And I think she eventually kept asking questions like, this doesn't feel real. And then it just ended. It was like,
smart woman.
It's not like
smart woman.
It's not like I was like, I took this going on for a year. It was like probably a couple of weeks during the summertime when we're like, hey, what do you want to do? Hey, let's go mess with people. I used to do that. I used to go on E-Bombs World, a website, and look up soundboards. Like they'd have like a Howard Stern soundboard or like and prank call people.
How did you ever become who you are today? What a nerd.
Yeah. The worst thing I did was when I was at my friend's house once when I was like 13, 14. Again, I stir the pot, okay? I'm freely admitting
I hate
this.
These stories make me feel so awkward.
So
proceed.
I was at my friend's house. His sister had her own like landline phone. Okay. Like back in, I mean, this is like early 2000s, right? Or landline phone. So I called her and I was like, said something crazy. Like, I'm going to kill you. Just.
I'm going to kill. No, you didn't.
Yes.
No, not like that. You didn't.
As a joke.
No, yeah, but obviously you didn't say that. But yeah,
I did. And it was a joke, okay? Because I thought I misdialed. I called the wrong number. And so someone, and then all of a sudden the cops show up at my friend's house. Like, hey, did you guys call someone and threaten them? And I'm like, no, I was calling the sister to say that. Morgan is judging me so hard right now.
I feel so
it happens.
Awkward.
You make mistakes as a kid. That's okay. You were out playing basketball and being a good kid. I was out prank calling people, catfishing.
Like that honestly makes me feel like.
How do you think I felt? I was at my
antsy.
friend's house. His parents were like, "Why are you prank calling? Like, you're using our phone."
Did you get in trouble?
I mean, shamed, I guess. I ain't in trouble.
Did they tell your mom?
I don't even remember. No, I don't. I don't know.
Oh.
I mean, I didn't mean.
I
to
would
call
tell
someone.
my son, I'm like, you're not hanging out with that bad kid anymore.
And I think we told the cop. We swore up and down. We didn't call anyone.
Oh my
Are you
God.
gonna arrest me? Scared of
For prank phone calling someone at 13. Oh my God. No.
you. I'm judging you, Deuce. I'm disappointed.
Consider yourself judged, Deuce.
Man, I was, yes, Forrest Goes Fabio. I was a little bit of a troublemaker. We did some things. Nothing like, I never hurt anybody.
No, you just chucked a water balloon at someone in a convertible, right?
Okay, yeah, you're bringing up wow. Again, a teenage boy in the early 2000s throwing water balloons at people.
I just can't relate. I loved staying out of trouble. I wasn't like a goody two shoe. My getting in trouble or feeling embarrassed were like things I never wanted to feel.
That's why you don't get caught.
Well, I mean, I didn't get caught growing up with other things, and it was great. It was great. I planned it out. It was very precise. Didn't get caught. At least Deuce was only 13. At least he didn't say this was last year that
I turned out okay.
You did. I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised, but I'm very glad that you did turn out okay. Kind of that story just honestly got me a little.
I did run from the cops once. That was another story.
Also, another awful story. How old were you?
I was like 19.
Oh, I think you told me this one.
Underage drinking, not cool, right? But like people did it.
Yeah.
So me and my buddy are going to his car to get some more alcohol at this apartment complex. We're at his girlfriend's house. Maybe I was 20, and so we're grabbing it, and we're already probably drunk, like being stupid. Cops are patrolling the parking lot, and they're like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" So what do?
What do you do?
I start sprinting. I just take off. No. Ah! I just took off.
I've even
ran.
heard this before, and I forgot.
I took off.
That is so stupid. You are.
And guess what?
What?
I did get away. But they knew where it was because my buddy was like, I don't know why he ran. Like, I don't. So then they come to the apartment. Like, we could have tased you. They take out my license. All I'm thinking about at this time is I'm going to lose my license. They're going to call my mom, and I am done. Like, but I'm an adult, you
And
know.
they didn't
could
do any of that.
They did not arrest me.
Yeah, you are an adult at that point.
I know. They turned to my friend to take these guys home.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, that was scary. That was legit. I don't know why I ran. Maybe it's in my blood, you know.
Yeah, I was just not getting in trouble like that. I was I don't know. I was just very very on point with everything that I did. I was always really good to my parents always were like, "Hey, you know, if you drink, even though I don't drink, I would never drink." They'd be like, "Don't ever drink and drive. Don't ever drive with someone drunk." That was so instilled in me. I was always so safe with
That's
that
smart.
stuff because it was just like, that is when you get in trouble.
I should also make it clear when I ran from the cops, the reason they were patrolling that parking lot is because they got a call that there were individuals breaking into cars.
Oh my God. And
So
you
I didn't
ran.
know. Hey, I was fast.
Were you really?
I got away.
Yeah.
They just knew because my friend didn't run with me.
So stupid.
So stupid.
See, young people do stupid things, and Manti Te'o was young.
That's part of it. You learn from it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
Manti's thing was so fascinating because of like he was this huge college prospect. It's all this, and then like the weird angle of like him being convinced that she was actually alive, and
But losing,
Oh, what a story.
I think some people too go to the life part of losing out on millions and all these different things and how his life went. The way that he ended his interviews at the end of the documentary was like just no hate, zero hate, all forgiveness. And it was just like this beautiful release that I wish more humans could have, but it's not easy to have. And he did not have any hatred toward this person for screwing up so much of his life, because he is who he is today because of it.
And now if he dates anyone, he has to do hire an independent investigator, do a full background check.
I think I remember seeing that he was dating like Manti Te'o's new girlfriend. I saw this like a few years ago.
Few years ago.
Yeah. No, I think it was like Deadspin or someone. No, you
Good luck
can't find
finding
it.
that.
Yeah.
Morgan just searched Manti
The
Te'o girlfriend.
Oh yeah, I think that was her or something. But anyway, so it was like everyone was like, "Oh my god, she's so hot," and like he's super good looking now too. So his life's going. He's great. He's great,
Yeah, he did. He turned into a good looking man.
dude. He totally did. He did something with his teeth, his hair.
Got
and I was
those
just
veneers.
like,
He got the veneers. Changes everything.
dude, he looked good.
Let's see here. A couple of comments. Benjamin says, "This was fun, but can we get back to the huge topic at hand? Who will be the third string point guard?"
Yeah, we haven't broken this down enough. Who is it going to be? Matthew Dellavedova?
Or Quinn Cook? Let's talk about it. I've got a good 15 on that.
Oh my God, you guys.
Could you honestly talk 15 minutes about that and like be dead serious about it?
No, but I feel like the last time we did bring it up and we were talking about Dellavedova and Quinn Cook, we were like, we can't talk about this, blah, blah. And then we were having fun and shooting the shit and talking about it with people. Not seriously, but just more generically.
I was starting to think about this, and I think it was because someone mentioned it on Night Chat. And I don't remember. So I'm sorry for those who call in the Night Chat, but someone mentioned like the prospect of Harrison Barnes coming off the bench. And I was like, I wonder if they would do that. Like,
I forget who that
it's not
was.
the craziest. Like, what if they were like, hey, we're going to actually go with Fox, Monk, Herter, Murray, and Sabonis? Herter's played small forward in the
There's
league.
no.
It'd be kind of, I mean, I'd be a little surprised, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think I'd just be more surprised, if anything. But hell, that just shows either way you have a strong second unit, right? Davion Mitchell, whether it was Monk coming off the bench or Herter. I mean, whoever that ended up being. It just seems like I don't know why in my mind, why does Herter seem like more of a starter than Monk? Even after Monk had
because
a solid...
he's been more of a starter, in
Okay.
my opinion. Like Monk's, although the last couple of years he's been pretty good.
Right.
I mean, his first couple of years in the league, he wasn't really playing. Clifford wasn't playing him a lot. Borrego, was it Clifford?
I don't know when you
I
said that, though.
just
I'm
make
like,
that up now. No, it wasn't Clifford.
it was Borrego? Double check.
I'm
What?
so mad when I do that. You don't understand. I'm going to be thinking about this for the next
If you
2
just
weeks.
Google it and
I
get it
know.
right, then it's like you didn't.
I
do
just
anything.
I've assumed like someone like Clifford wouldn't play him. Because I think Borrego was there for a long time. He was there since 2018-19. So that was... so I think he got 1 year of Clifford then, right? Because it wasn't
Let me
Malik
see.
Monk 17-18 was his first year. Yeah, his first year. Okay. All right. My bad. I was fine.
So wait, you had it right.
Yeah, but anyway, even with Borrego, I mean, look at just kind of his basketball reference. Malik Monk only really started in the NBA last year. 37 games. Before that, 1 start in the NBA. He's been a guy that comes off the bench and get some buckets.
Now, this is interesting little angle that we can talk about, because you know how some players, not some, most players, it's situational. It's where they're at, what position they're playing, what organization that they're in, that they can excel and be their best selves, right? With Monk, was he having a solid year like that because he was a starter, and his game benefited from that? And I think some people will be like, what? Just figure it out, even if you're coming off the bench. Totally get that. Totally hope that can happen if that's the case. But maybe he's one of those players that actually plays better starting off things. I know. I'm not. And again,
Go compete for the job. I don't
That's
know.
all.
Go
That's
compete.
all.
That's what it should be about. I think if I were to make a prediction, I think it's Fox, Herter, Barnes, Keegan, and Sabonis.
that would be my
opening night.
prediction. That's a safe prediction.
Yeah, I think so. Steven says Mike Brown is going to start Barnes at 3, Herter at the 2. We all know those small lineups aren't good for defense. Roman in the chat says the basketball mind is slowing down a little bit. It happens to everyone, Deuce. And he also says, hey, can we get a game of who he played for today?
Ooh.
It's been a while.
Do you want one?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm ready.
I have something bookmarked.
Oh, God.
Just
So
for them.
this is pretty simple on this game, okay? Morgan names an NBA player, and I list every team that player's played on. Or we could do the reverse of you name all the teams, I name the player.
Sometimes I feel like we've done a pretty good job of not repeating players. So tell me if we've done this one before. You ready?
Yes.
Tyson Chandler.
I don't think we have.
Okay.
All right, Tyson Chandler is the player on who he played for. Okay, so Chicago.
On who he played for.
All right, the basketball mind in action. We start with Chicago. He started his career with the Chicago Bulls.
Ding.
Played with New Orleans.
Oh, ding.
Phoenix.
Ding.
The New York Knicks.
Ding.
And that's it, right? We call it a night. That is,
You know what else?
Tyson Chandler, Chicago, New Orleans, Phoenix, New York.
You got 4.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm writing down right here. Maybe a candidate. Morgan. Dallas.
Ding.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
And he's not looking at the chat, by the way, everyone.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I'm looking down. It'd be amazing if the chat was right in front of me. Oh, man.
I was just letting the people know. Jesus.
I feel like he played in someone like that. He didn't really play a lot, though. Like, wasn't he with LeBron somewhere? I got to write that down just in case. Don't laugh.
It's just funny.
How many am I missing?
3.
3?
He does this every
There's
time.
no way I'm missing
And again,
3.
this is like if we went back and cut every single time we've done a who he played for,
I
this
know.
would be the
I know.
same
Here,
conversation.
I know one now.
What?
The Lakers. Bogey hit that
Ding.
shot over him. Game winner. December 27th?
Oh,
or
yeah,
the
it's right
23rd?
here, the 27th or 3rd.
All right, Chicago, New Orleans, Phoenix, New York, Dallas, LA. I'm missing 2. You said I'm missing 2,
Missing
right?
2.
I'm missing 2. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it going. He didn't play in Orlando.
Wait, how many do you have on there?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, yeah, you're missing 2.
So Chicago, New Orleans, Phoenix, New York, Dallas, LA. He didn't play in Orlando or Miami. We keep going up the coast. He didn't go play in Boston. No, he didn't play with Brooklyn. I said Chicago. Milwaukee, no. I'm stuck. This is not good. I'm stuck. I don't think he played Milwaukee. No. Am I missing? Can you just guys give me a hint in the chat? Maybe the chat will say this.
What?
And you.
Okay.
Am I missing some that are like, Deuce, really?
Well,
Or is it
people
kinda-
are getting it. So
Really?
Yeah.
But those people probably couldn't get the rest like I just rattled off in like 2
No,
seconds.
no one could get the
right?
rest like you just did in 2 seconds. No one could. No one could. Everyone, let's boost Deuce's
All right.
confidence.
And how many can I miss? I got to take a swing here.
Okay, how about you can miss 2?
Okay, next one I'm guessing is, I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm nervous. I've got 2 written down. I don't know if I want to take a swing yet.
Just do it because you got to do it sometime.
Oh, God, I just wrote down another one that I'm uncertain about. Oh, my God.
Why does this hurt your brain
Because
so
do you
bad?
understand? I like perfection, and I know my rate. I know the people are like, Deuce, it's okay. 90%. That's an A+, or it's an A, actually. A-. You're really good. You're the basketball mind, but the basketball
No
mind
one's
aims
saying any
for
of these things about
perfection.
you. And we're just waiting to see if you're going to fail, actually. But sure.
Charlotte.
Ding.
Oh my God. I am 1 away. I pictured Charlotte. I pictured him. Oh man.
Ding. Charlotte was.
I don't think it was Washington or Philly. I can't.
51 games in Charlotte.
Wait, did he play? Okay, No, I'm not. I'm gonna take a swing. I'm gonna take a swing.
Okay.
I have this weird feeling he was at this place. It was brief. Is the next place? Is it brief? Is it a brief stop?
Yes.
Cleveland.
Nope. You're gonna miss one more. We're not stop being so angry.
He didn't play with LeBron in Cleveland for a second.
I thought you already had him with the Lakers.
You're right.
Oh, was that
Chicago,
that was
New
LeBron.
Orleans? Yes, it was.
Oh, it was?
Chicago, New Orleans, Phoenix, New York, Dallas, LA, Charlotte. Should I give up?
I would just take a guess.
But I only like taking real guesses. So
Take a real guess.
Really believe.
Take a real guess that you believe.
Okay. I can't. Deep. If I get this wrong, it's over.
Uh-huh.
All right.
You're so dramatic.
The LA Clippers.
Nope.
Bullshit.
Do you want to know?
Yes, I want to know.
The Houston Rockets.
Oh! How did I miss that?
And for some reason, at one point, I thought Charlotte was Chicago. And I was like saying to the camera, I was like, Chicago, Chicago. I'm an idiot. It was Charlotte.
Okay, hold on. So I got 6 out of 7.
You did.
What's that percentage?
And what is it?
I tell you, I'm 90% of the time every time, right?
You say that, but I think you're making us believe that you're 90%.
Is that true? It's 85%?
That's a B. That's a B, bud.
My
Stephen
goodness.
Brown says, I'm so disappointed.
Come on. That's 85%. It's 85%.
Dan wants to know, is Deuce like this while playing board games? Are you?
I mean, what board games do I really play?
The only one I think I've ever played with you is Monopoly Deal.
Oh, Monopoly Deal, dude. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm really
So
good.
yeah, the answer is yes.
Is your question, is Deuce competitive? Yes, he is 100%.
Benjamin would like you to know that he did say Houston. I saw someone else say Rockets.
It was 7 of 8. You're right. It is 7 of 8. That is good for 87.5%. We do great on a curve, so 90%. I tell you.
Good job, Roman.
Single time, it's 90%. That's a good way to end it. Morgan has a meeting anyway to get to, right?
I do.
Yeah, you gotta go.
I do have to go.
All right, we appreciate everyone hanging out. Make sure to spread the word. Hit the thumbs up button on the way out. And if you guys have any suggestions for who we played for, you can always submit them too.
Please.
Love you guys, but we gots to go.
You're all badass. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. See ya!
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you